Hi everyone, I hope all of you guys are doing well. Today I'm going to talk about how you can study the current affairs that come in UPSC exam more effectively by actually linking the current affairs you are studying on a daily basis in the newspapers to the kind of questions that are coming in the UPSC exam in the prelims or the mains. Now, this way of linking what is coming in the current affairs, what is in the syllabus, and what actually UPSC is asking becomes very important part of your preparation, because only that way can you cover such a vast syllabus and be very productive and be very efficient. Now, before I go ahead and tell you with the help of that example, I want to tell you that UPSC generally asks three types of questions. So the first kind of questions are simply the conceptual questions that are asked directly from the material that is given in the book. So this material can be from an economy book, from a polity book, and you of course study all this from traditional UPSC books that are recommended. I have also recommended on my channel a few books, and you do a lot of answer writing practice of this concept. Also prelims question solving practice of this particular conceptual or static content. Now this is pretty much static. This does not change years over year. The concepts remain the same. Now the second kind of questions are where current affairs are mixed with static portion, because some current affairs has come related to some kind of static portion, and that's why those questions are asked. And these kind of questions require you to be able to connect the static with the current affairs, and that is what I'm going to show you today how to do that. And the third one is questions that come directly from current affairs. So these can be questions because some important news is there in the current affairs related to any kind of event, any kind of new technology, any kind of development, international development. So questions can be derived from it also about that particular area, about that particular organization, or they can be directly asked also. So you have to be very aware that if you are preparing for these three kind of questions, static portion you're going to get easily directly from the classic sources that I have recommended so many times. The current affairs you will get from current affairs magazines and reading the newspaper, but how to link them, that is very important, and that I'm going to show you through the example. So let's dive into that. So here we have our example where I have first given some news headlines that came in the Hindu or that came in Indian Express, the newspapers that you are actually reading for UPSC preparation. And then I have gone ahead and given a UPSC question and how you can link these two, how you can create a framework for yourself to study better for UPSC. So the headlines are MPC meet. Now what is MPC? That question should come in your mind, right? MPC meet, RBI may hold rates, lay roadmap for raising reverse repo. Now so many questions are coming into your mind. What is reverse repo? Obviously. Then what are rates it is talking about here? So when you are a student who is just starting to study for UPSC, all these questions should come into your mind, because if you are just reading newspaper or not understanding the article, you are just trying to memorize this fact, that is not how you will be able to succeed in UPSC. You cannot just memorize this and expect to succeed in UPSC. What you have to do is you have to actually properly study this particular topic. You have to study this particular concepts that are asked directly from the static economics books, and then only you will be able to answer any kind of questions that are actually asked in UPSC regarding this. So what, why? So here the what question is directly arisen. What is MPC? What are rates? What are reverse repo that we are talking about here? So these are the kind of questions you should be thinking about conceptually when you're coming across articles like this. Why? Why is RBI holding rates? What does that even mean? What does holding rates even mean? You know, these kind of conceptual questions should first come to your mind. So similarly, let's look at another headline. RBI rate hike by 50 basis points. How equities are likely to react. Now, what is 50 basis points? What are rates? Again, same kind of questions. Currency caution on the Indian rupees depreciation. So this was an article that came in the Hindu, and obviously with this kind of that India's rupee is depreciating in the recent past, your mind should be wondering what happens when that happens, why does it happen, what are the economic principles, what are the basic economic principles, what are the concepts behind that particular topic, what are the concepts and what are the principles behind that particular topic. These are the questions that you want to ask yourself, and then you will see how you will be able to answer a UPSC question. So I have given an example of UPSC question that came in this year's paper. to help you understand that this is the kind of question UPSC can ask from all these pieces of news combined. And this is a purely static question. So the good thing about UPSC is if you study static really well, you can answer even questions that are somehow coming from the current affairs that is in news recently. So the question is, with reference to the Indian economy, consider the following statement. If inflation is too high, RBI is likely to buy government securities. If rupee is depreciating, RBI is likely to sell dollars in the market. Now UPSC is simply asking you, with reference to the Indian economy, what happens when inflation is high, what RBI does, what if rupee is depreciating, what RBI does. This is the kind of conceptual understanding you need to have of this topic, and which you can easily get from NCERT. Recently I have started concepts with Manuj, where also I'll be clarifying these basic topics, because these are very basics of economics that you have to know in order to be able to crack the UPSC exam top 100, be able to crack the prelims, or even do well in the mains. So all these kind of questions should come to your mind when you're reading any kind of these articles, and you should refer to your basic NCERTs, basic, like in economy I have recommended Nitin Singhania. You should be able to refer to these books, refer to some YouTube lectures, and find the answer to the questions that are coming into your mind when you're reading a particular article. Now remember, UPSC does not do it for every piece of news. There are a lot of pieces of news that are obviously not useful, but these are the piece of news that are economy related, that are big picture related, that are important from a intellectual point of view, important for a bureaucrat, for a civil servant to understand. So that's why UPSC is asking that. So always remember to answer the what, the why, the how, the where, the when, the causes of a certain concept, certain thing, certain event, some kind of thing that is happening. Always understand the concept behind it. Always know the key sources also. See, for this NCERT is a good source, but I found NCERT to be a little difficult, so that's why I said Nitin Singhani was also a good book, and after that you can read NCERT for your revision also. So this is how you go ahead and do all these kind of questions. Similar questions appear for polity, similar questions appear for environment, similar question appears for other different subjects, society, etc., that are there in UPSC syllabus. And this is how UPSC goes and prepares its papers. So hopefully this gives you a good sense of what we discussed today, and you will be able to answer these kind of questions more easily, and you will be able to study better. Best of luck. Take care. See you soon.